Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Balarāma Prabhu.
Alright, so this will sit here.
Yeah, any questions? Anybody have any questions? I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto him. So when we look out in the world, we may do that sometimes. Look around Tucson or we go travel around somewhere in America, we look around, or we may look around the world in relation to watching the news. Maybe we do that. We could see that it's a real, I mean, not absolutely, but it's quite a mess, the world. Like a lot of, it's a crisis going on, like a polycrisis. Means many problems all at once: social, political, economical, psychological, so many issues going on all at once. So it could be quite difficult to process all of that if we think about it too much. Now, in relation to that, we could think about different qualities that we see in the world, or we see in others, or we might see in ourselves, that tend to be self-defeating in relation to what we really want, or in relation to what we want to see in the world. So it's a question for all of you. What would you consider some of the main qualities that we see in the world or in others or maybe in ourselves that tend to be or that are self-defeating? Okay, Kirtaneshwar, he raised his hand really quick.
So I'd say the biggest thing that I see spiritual life, at least, is distraction.
Distraction. Okay, that's
in
interesting.
In life, you want something, but you become distracted.
That's an interesting, very interesting point. Yes.
Escapism?
Escapism. Yeah, escapism. Just like someone says, oh, well, how do you get free from stress? What do you do personally? People, the top 4 things people tend to do is they say, well, I go on a vacation, I take intoxication, I go to sleep. What's the other one? I watch a movie. Somebody's heard this. Okay, we'll stop there then. You already know it. But again, how long do these things last? They don't last very long. We need a more permanent solution. But yeah, escapism, distraction. Expectation. Yes. Pride.
Like treating everybody impersonally.
Okay, and personally treating people. Yeah. Any other things? What would you consider like the top 3 that are like really destructive?
The intoxication is definitely.
Intoxication.
Yeah. I'm noticing just I have so many friends from high school, and their lives are all defeated simply because they do intoxication.
Yeah.
It ruins everything.
And maybe you could think further. What do you think? There's one particular quality I'm thinking of, and I don't want to say it's the number 1, but it's something that sometimes tends to be forgotten about. This particular quality. Anger. It's very closely related to that. Envy's there. Frustration. So frustration, anger. It's resentment. Who said resentment? Yes. Now, okay, so anger, frustration, resentment. Now, what is resentment tied to? Something it's tied to. It's a quality.
Pride.
Yeah, that's true. Attachment. Like when you're resenting someone, what's going on there? Regret. Yes, that's true. Pain. Yes. Pain's going on there. But what is a person? Yeah, I mean, we could say that a person's maybe offended you, or they offended us. There's a quality, what they call is like unforgiveness. I actually didn't know that word existed, because you usually think of like forgiveness, but you don't think of like unforgiveness. But that's actually a word, unforgiveness. That's what I'm thinking of specifically.
We read them all.
Yeah. Just read my mind. Unforgiveness. It's an interesting thing, because it may not be one of the first things that pop into our mind. One of the things that cause us a lot of problems. But yeah, there's a lot of problems based on that principle of unforgiveness, the difficulty in forgiving others, holding resentment or grudges or whatever it may be, based on someone's behavior or how they wronged us. And we see that in this world, there's a lot of room for imperfection. It happens every day, all day and night long. People are making mistakes. So there's a lot of room for people to offend us. And then there's a lot of, what does that mean? That means there's a lot of room for us to be in this state of, what is it called? Unforgiveness. This unforgiveness state. So now, when we look at that unforgiveness state, there's some bitterness, there's some resentment, there's some anger, and so on. But why is it so difficult? Like, why is it so, maybe it's another question for all of you. Why is it so difficult to forgive someone?
We'll see.
Okay, so false ego. Okay, got some mind readers in the crowd. Okay. False ego. So the sense of like, hey, you wronged me and I'm so important, I'm so great that I can't forgive you. I'm just writing you off. I'm such an important person that I definitely can't forgive you. Yeah, some type of sense of false ego.
Sometimes fear.
Fear?
To go like doing.
I see. Yeah, it's an interesting point. Fear that they'll do it again, so therefore we don't forgive them.
And on that train, I was thinking like possibly positive aspect to that could be boundaries, like healthy.
Yeah,
boundaries.
yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah.
I think of ignorance. Ignorance is the reason we can't forgive, because when you understand God is behind everything, every circumstance is arranged by God, what is there to forgive? It's like this was God's arrangement, so I have no hate toward you. I just see this.
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Of course, philosophically, we may accept that, and some people do accept that. But you could say, like, emotionally, that may be very difficult. It's like, hey, this person wronged me, or this happened or that happened, and it's God arrangement. Of course, that's a philosophical point. But yeah, that might be difficult emotionally. But anyways, yeah, thank you for adding that. Yeah. Yes, Nitai.
Sometimes, like, if you don't forgive someone, you can kind of have like power over them. It's like, oh, you've done something wrong to me, so now you're indebted to me. And if I don't forgive you, now I can have some control over you.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. One person he was making the point that humans need a few things to live. They need air, they need food, they need water, they need type of shelter, and he said they need control. Control. But imagine if you just literally had no control of anything. I mean, that's a very difficult state to be in. So we like that control. We like to be in control of things, a sense of security. So yeah, if we don't forgive someone, it's like, hey, I'm in control. This person wronged me, and I'm not forgiving them, and therefore I have the upper hand here. I'm in control. But it's difficult because, again, this holding of unforgiveness, this quality that we may have, I don't know, I'm not gonna, like a counseling session here or something, but it actually causes us pain. That's the difficulty with it, because you think, oh, well, I have control. Sure, there's a sense of control, but then there's pain also that comes with that. So anyways, yes, any other things?
I was thinking like the strategies, like our mental strategies around like storytelling, and keep us stuck, not moving into, basically not connecting with the whole like emotion.
Now, can you elaborate then on that further?
Yeah. So there's like the emotion that keeps us like in the realm of, kind of like wanting to dissociate with whatever happened that's caused resentment, and therefore we look at it from a perspective that gives us that like higher, like the full C goes. But we just like connect to it, and it's a little bit better like to integrate, I guess, and then you can like forgive. And that's
Okay.
Can I build off of what she said?
I also had a thought.
Okay, yeah, please go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, that was reminding me of victim mentality. I was gonna say that's also one, is having this victim mentality of, they hurt me, I'm hurt, why does everything happen to me, everything sucks.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
One thought is like, if someone does something to you, like, you can identify with that narrative. It's like, oh, this person abused me, and that's part of my identity. It's like you give up that attachment or part of your identity. It's like you're losing a part of yourself. So,
Yeah, it's a very complex thing, like you're mentioning, like people take that as part of my identity. And when actually, again, it's something that actually needs to be relinquished from one's identity. Yes.
That tendency to punish, that's.
Yeah.
Prabhupada says that, and it's true, even just, like, I cut you off, I punish you.
Yeah.
It's a punishment mentality, whereas
Yeah.
forgiveness means lack of punishment.
Yeah, it's a punishing mentality. That's an interesting point as well, that sometimes people think that, okay, whether people accept God exists or not is another thing, but if someone accepts God exists, one of the roles is administrating justice. Okay, that's a whole talk in itself. How does God exactly do that? How is it fair, and how is it whatever? That's a whole talk in itself. But if someone would say, "Hey, well, I'm kind of like the punisher here. I'm punishing people in different ways by cutting them off or not forgiving them or this and that," it's kind of, in a sense, you could say, taking a role that's not really meant to be our role in the ultimate sense.
What I mean more is that, like we're seeing like husbands and wives, though.
Okay, I'm not going to get into husband and wife. That's between husbands and wives. No, I'm just joking. Yeah.
But, we take that position of punisher always, then we can't forgive in that state. It's impossible for us to forgive because we feel that we have to administer justice.
Yeah.
So that's kind of,
yeah. I see.
I need to get justice here, so I can't forgive.
Yeah, husband and wife dynamics are, the whole thing. Yeah.
Unforgiveness is like self-harm, because you really, if you forgive, you're really forgiving yourself, not the other person. You're not in a position to forgive the other person, but you can forgive yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like the sense of like self-righteousness. It's like, oh, I'm the good guy. Like I'm in the right here. And so you get to like relish that sense of being right.
Yeah, someone said one time, I'm not sure, maybe somebody knows who said this, but some guy said, yeah, I was only wrong one time in my life. He said, that's when I thought, that was the one time I thought I was wrong.
Oh, I raised my hand. Yeah, I was just. Do you feel like you didn't directly get it, but you know the idea? That's what I was thinking of, but when you said that, oversharing. What you said, Vanessa, I was trying to understand it better, and I was wondering, maybe you meant something like this, maybe not, but what you made me think of is when we get into like a tunnel vision, and like that's like overly emotional or whatnot, and then like the opposite is having like a broader picture of the situation, or like, like Mahatma means broad-minded. You understand like more of the context, and in the view of Krishna, how Krishna understands things in context and let it go in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get a lot of inspiration. So uncontaminated, right? So like, okay, you don't have to take on whatever situation is causing this ill emotion. Be in a place where you're just looking at.
Yeah, I mean, in relation to forgiveness, in my humble opinion, I think it's important that people or we consider what forgiveness is not. Like, for example, forgiveness, if I forgive someone, doesn't mean that I'm obliged to trust them. Like, there's no, it's not that, oh, I forgive the person, now I trust them. Well, they broke that trust. I'm not obliged to trust them. I may forgive them, but it doesn't have to trust them, for example. But sometimes people may conflate that. It says, oh, well, if I forgive someone, it means I have to trust them. But no, that doesn't mean that, for example. And, or like, for example, people, the tendency may think, okay, well, if I forgive someone, that means I accepted that their behavior was okay. It was like acceptable. But just because we forgive someone doesn't really mean we condoned their behavior. We think it's acceptable. Or if I forgive someone, then I have to immediately think to myself that that experience wasn't painful. Experience was painful, what they said, how they treated me. It was painful. I don't have to hallucinate that it wasn't, but I forgive them. Forgiveness doesn't mean that I have to say that, oh, well, I'm just hallucinating, or I'm thinking that this is much more of a bigger problem than it really was. Maybe it was a big problem. I don't have to minimize the issue to forgive someone. So that concept of understanding what forgiveness is not, I think, is also important, that we have like a very clear understanding what it is. And there's many other points in regards to that as well. But as we may have experienced or known or seen or whatever, but there may be excuses why we don't forgive people. And I think some of that was kind of being brought up here a little bit too. But we'll just go through a few. We may think, oh, well, it's not really possible to forgive them. Like, I don't have that power. Like in the Bible, right? There's some verse says something like, the spirit is willing, right? The spirit's willing, the flesh is weak, so not possible. So you might say, like, my spirit is willing to forgive someone, but I'm human, not possible. So that might be a thing. Or we think, hey, the offense is too great. Offense is too great, I can't forgive him or her. Or we may think that, hey, well, I could forgive that person, but they have to accept responsibility for what they did. But unfortunately, we see in the world that people aren't going to accept responsibility. In many cases, it's an irresponsible world. It's amazing it's still going on. Thing hasn't blown up yet, but we can't expect people to take responsibility. But that's a reason. People have to accept responsibility, or they're not really sorry. Maybe we've had that experience. Somebody gives us a very shallow sorry, or you could tell they don't understand it. Like, they don't understand how it was a problem. So that may be excuse for reason not to forgive someone. Or I don't like them, or they didn't ask for forgiveness. Many people, they may have wronged someone but not really realized it out of ignorance. So then how can they ask for forgiveness? They haven't realized what they've done. So that could also be a reason, excuse not to forgive them. So in this way, there could be so many reasons. And from one perspective, they sound a bit reasonable, but again, the issue with that is that we have to carry that around with us. It's like they have a saying, I think it's in Bengal or something, but the saying, you carry your forehead wherever you go. You can't separate your forehead from whatever your body. You carry your forehead wherever you go. So similarly, like we're carrying stuff, like in our heart, in our consciousness. We can't. Everybody's carrying something in their consciousness. So the question is, okay, what are we carrying? And do we want to carry that? Maybe we should just, get rid of some stuff that's unnecessary. So there's an interesting, there's a telling short historical account in the Bhagavad Purana, the book coming after Bhagavad Gita, the philosophical classic of India. Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses, and Bhagavad Purana is 18,000 verses. But in the beginning of that long work, right here, it's on the very top, 12 cantos, there's a case, because the Bhagavatam ends or the Bhagavatam begins where Bhagavad Gita ends. So Bhagavad Gita is leading up to the war, battlefield of Kurukshetra, the classic good versus evil war, in which the good party won. And at that particular point, the Bhagavatam continues with the history line that one of the guys on the evil side, or the corrupt side, named Ashvatthama, he had a very terrible idea. And his idea is that he went to the other side and there were 5 sons sleeping. And in Vedic classical war, there were strict rules. Like if you're fighting someone, if they have a weapon, each person has to have a weapon. If a person doesn't have a weapon, you can't use a weapon on them, for example. And at the end of the day, they would all stop the war and they would actually mix with each other, have dinner and so on. Yeah, when the sun sets. So there's very strict rules and very humane rules in war time. So, but Ashvatthama, he had this insane idea. And what he did is he went to these sleeping sons, completely helpless, and he killed them, all 5 of them. And then the mother, Draupadi, she heard about this, or she found out that her 5 sons were killed by Ashvatthama. The great warrior Arjuna, he came and he bound Ashvatthama. And there was a conversation between Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna. That's okay.
I was trying to make it really exciting.
Krishna, Arjuna, Ashvatthama, and Draupadi. There was a discussion. What should we do with this fool? What should we do with this cheater? And some of them were just saying, just kill him. Some were saying, banish him, this, that. There's a whole long conversation about it. Because he just killed 5 sleeping boys. It's completely against the rules of a good warrior, or of anyone. It's insane. So they're thinking what to do. That's all right. It will dry up in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Just add to the song.
Yeah, it'll dry up in 2 seconds. No worry. So I was wondering what you're going out of the room for. So they're thinking what to do with this person. And some people would say, yeah, just kill him. Some people say this, that. So they had this whole long conversation. And what did Draupadi? Draupadi was the mother of these 5 boys. We can't even imagine the suffering and the pain of a mother losing her 5 sons in such a terrible way. Young sons. It's just unimaginable. And this guy is standing right in front of him, or in front of her. So Draupadi, she says a very difficult thing to understand and a difficult thing to accept and very broad-minded thing. She says, do not kill him. And the reason why she says that is she says, I understand what it feels like to lose my 5 sons. I understand the pain. And I don't want I don't want his mother to feel that pain. So Draupadi was thinking of Ashvatthama's mother. Yeah. And how she didn't want the mother to feel that pain. So she was broad-minded. She was thinking of, she was quite inconceivable, actually. So she forgave this person, Ashvatthama, for such a terrible thing, and she made a very compassionate decision. And of course, he was punished in his own way, and he was what would you say when you banished? He was banished. So he was punished in his own way. But you could just see the amazing nature of Draupadi.
Did they give him a weird haircut?
Yeah, they took the jewel away from his head of Ashvatthama, which, of course, it's hard to understand that too. But it's a humiliation, big humiliation. Yeah, jewel.
That jewel had been passed down from his father. He
Yeah.
was the teacher of the Pandava.
Yeah.
And that jewel had been passed down. His Bhima had also broken the rules of war to kill Drona, to get Drona to put down his weapons. And they killed him, so that jewel's kind of like their
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we may not be faced with such an intense thing as Draupadi, but we'll have our own challenges. I mean, we've already had them, I suspect. I mean, if we spent some, I'm sure everybody had something, and then in the future we'll have there's challenges. There'll always be challenges. So the question is, how are we going to process that? How are we going to deal with it? Are we going to hold those ill feelings within our heart, that state of unforgiveness? Or are we just going to forgive? And through the process of bhakti, through the serious process of Krishna consciousness, it will give us a very, very comprehensive philosophical outlook on life that will help us navigate these different things. And it will also give us the spiritual strength, the spiritual realization to see things from the right perspective and not hold these things within us. So I'll stop there. Does anybody have any question?
Ashwatthama, he killed another one person. Dushadumna also, they sometimes living Arshan and Dushadumna also sleep. And Arshan and Dushadumna.
5 sons. None of them were the main Pandava brothers, or they?
Sons of Draupadi.
Okay.
Sons of the Pandavas, yeah. Yudhishthira, Arjuna.
Got it.
Achal Guru Putra also. Ashwatthama is Guru Putra. Guru Dharmatari's son. Brahman's son.
Yeah, that's another point, because they're thinking, okay, Ashwatthama has a very good father, so how exactly do we deal with this person? That was also a consideration. So yeah, it's a mind-enthralling, fascinating history that you could read about in Mahabharata. So Yes.
There's a saying, and I think it came from the Bible, that when we forgive, we let go of the ties that bind us and that hurt us. So there's this deep state of,
Can you say that again?
when we forgive, we let go of the ties that bind us to those that hurt us.
Uh-huh.
You have it written down? Are you reading it right
No,
now?
no.
That'd be so cool.
No, no.
You would make my day. That was okay.
Unfortunately
It's
not.
writing.
They're like knots in the heart.
Yeah, and there's a, I see a lot of clients that are just stuck in that deep state of unforgiveness. There has to be a level of acceptance of yourself, acceptance of others, and acceptance of the moment. For you to be able to have a little bit of forgiveness. And that forgiveness is, like you said, it doesn't mean that you have to allow this person back into your life. Like, when I was, growing up, I was abused terribly, and my abuser got a terrible death. He was burned alive, alone, and I was already chanting at that time, and I thought I would feel happiness for his suffering. And I sat in my car for like 30 minutes. I was like, wouldn't I feel relief here? Like, this man took so much from me, and it wasn't any relief. It was just kind of like, it's just terrible feeling in my heart. Yeah, so it was just like terrible. Instead of this relief of like, yeah, he got what he wanted or what he deserved, it was more of like a Krishna did what he needed to with him, but it didn't feel, it didn't feel better. That forgiveness didn't necessarily, or I didn't feel like I could forgive him even again. I don't know. It's like a really weird moment. And I don't think at this moment, I don't think there's forgiveness. No.
Oh, you don't think there's forgiveness?
I don't think so. Like an ongoing.
Yeah.
Is it unwise to externally express forgiveness if you haven't internally actually forgiven the person? Or sometimes is it good to just externally say I forgive you even if you actually haven't?
That's tough.
Then it's like you're a liar if you say I forgive you.
Yeah. I think it's good to work it out and then actually have that realization. I think that's a good policy rather than just saying. Yeah. I mean, it's slightly, you could say it's, yeah, anyways, I'm not sure. Any other question? Yes. Comment? Tell you something later about Prabhupada, Mr. Nair, and so on.
So,
It's like this really small.
the forgiveness is, like I said, it's you're really forgiving yourself, because if you look at the bigger picture, you see that person, whoever did whatever they did, they were also a victim. And that's why they did what they did. And if we understand that they were a victim of it, whatever, then it's easier to, in a way, not so much, maybe the word forgiveness is more like let go and know that they're on their own journey and their own karma, and we're on our own journey and our own karma. So it's like looking inside, thinking, okay, well, how did I attract this to happen? And things don't really happen to you, they happen for you. So it's like when you understand this happened for me, and what can I gain out of this, and how can I grow from this? And knowing that person is a victim and they're a person.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Why did you choose this topic?
I'm not sure.
I'm just wondering, do you need to forgive?
Of course. No, I actually, it's interesting. Well, some time ago, I felt like there was some interaction I had with someone that I've known for many years. And of course, it was it was a discussion we had, and it was about some behavior that he engaged in, which I thought was, yeah, inappropriate. Anyways, but so yeah, you could say I was offended, or my emotions were hurt, or however you want to put it. So yeah, at that point, I started looking into the topic of forgiveness more because I was interested. And yeah, I had to forgive him, I felt, because yeah. So I started looking into it more, and then I started thinking about it more, like, well, probably other people have similar experiences where they've been offended by someone, they need to forgive them. So this is by no means any in-depth thing. There's a lot more to say about the topic, and there's seminars given on it and so on. But yeah, it's something to ponder, to think about. Yeah. But I forgave that person.
It's a hard topic. It's a hard topic. I mean, it's one of the main reasons why I'm in business. If I'm being truthful, I mean, people come to me for that.
Yeah, and like just forgiveness, it's such a good thing. So we learn from all the scriptures so much, right? But it's kind of dichotomy in the Mahabharata war. Like, I mean, people may kind of get a lesson that Pandavas could forgive Kauravas or somewhere like that, but the Kauravas were miscreants; they had to be punished. So how do we deal with this kind of?
Yeah.
How do we,
well, in relation to the details of the war between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, it's not that the Pandavas couldn't forgive them. They're actually very forgiving. But it was just a matter of duty, a matter of principle that had to be, the war had to be fought. So it wasn't that they weren't forgiving, though. So.
Is it true that, everything that happens to us is never like actually unjust? It's just a reaction of our past actions. So if that's true, then like would it be fair to say that it's like,
what is there to forgive?
Yeah, it's literally I'm the author of my own suffering. So if I'm suffering something, it's my own fault. So why would I be angry at someone else?
Again, it's like philosophically, you may say things like that, but you also have emotional side. You can't ignore that side. I mean, you can, but
In one sense,
it's not very healthy to do that. Just like, for example, Srila Prabhupada, our teacher, grand teacher Srila Prabhupada, was asked, Arjuna, his son, because that's what we're talking about also, he was killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but Arjuna was lamenting. But why was he lamenting? Because, of course, we hear in the Bhagavad Gita that we're the soul, we're not the body. So why is Arjuna lamenting that his son died, but his son's not the body? Why is he lamenting? And then Srila Prabhupada said, well, that's natural. He's a father, that's natural. It's not that Arjuna was in Maya or something, an illusion. So we have that side, and therefore we have emotions, and therefore it is important that we process those certain things and not just process them philosophically.
Right.
I
Yes.
was just earlier I had thought of also the perspective of thinking, did I offend somebody, or did I put someone, I guess, in a situation, do they still forgive me? And I guess if we ever think of that, of like, oh, that one time that I stole Johnny's pen, I wonder if he's still mad at me.
I'm so apologize.
It's you.
Yeah.
Having that self-awareness.
Yeah, that's a very important thing too, because we're not just speaking about, and somebody's, how to forgive somebody, but we also have to think about other people that we've, to try to help people, you want to say, come to a point of being able to forgive us for things we've done. Yes.
Would you like to take your shot? It's gonna get late,
Sure.
isn't it? I know you don't. I love this part. Actually, she is getting down to business. Like, everybody stop your questions.